Yo, yo, yo. Double hats. Got special. Got something special for you. Today. Got my juice. Check out these strawberries. Organic. Don't you hate when you go and you get organic shit and it's fucking small? But nah. Shit's in season now. Happy spring. But today's the lunar day of the bear. So I'm eating some stuff a bear would eat. I'm eating some turkey. I saw it in the store. Well, first I was gonna look for salmon jerky. But I didn't find any. But I saw they had beef ones and they had jalapeno beef ones. I was almost gonna get that, because I love peppers. I swear I had some peppers in here. I got all types of good shit. I just have to find it. Maybe I threw the peppers away. I definitely had peppers last night. They were serrano peppers. But I saw this turkey and I was like, a bear would rip that fucking turkey up. So that's what I'm doing. Got a whole turkey's worth. But yeah. I'm just vibing. I'm about to start that new job. And I'm scared how I'm gonna like adjust to the schedule. Because I usually like wake up with the sun. And when I first got out of high school, I had this job where I worked 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And then I eventually got sick. Because back when I was at that job, I really didn't take health seriously. And like, I was still like, I eat whatever I want and everything. And people would tell me I could. But it's like ever since I got sick at that job, then I remember it was like really hard for me to I pretty much had like adrenal fatigue. Like I still feel like I am like long-term recovering from adrenal fatigue. And that goes into why I'm like sensitive to a lot of stuff as well. But like the way your adrenals work is like they only have like a gas pedal down. So like people just, that's why you see all these these guys and men in America, they're like whatever 40 and like they lost all their like drive and shit, because it's like the way the American lifestyle is. Everybody's go 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 all the time, and then you get to college and it's like drink and take Red Bull and just keep going. And because the way your body is with adrenaline is like you're addicted to it. So like once you start, you know, it's like I'm gonna stay up late tonight. Then you get in that cycle and you just keep staying up late, staying up late, staying up late. And just like when you have Red Bull, eventually you crash. I used to stay up all night, and like we didn't have anything to do, so we would make like homemade coffee, and I drink like all these cups of coffee. But yeah, after I lost that job and got sick, then it was like I was like stuck in that mode, and it was like part of adrenal fatigue is like you wake up at the normal circadian rhythm, and it's like you're sluggish, or it takes you a long time to wake up, and like in the morning, like your alarm will say you have to wake up for something, and it's like your alarm goes off, and like you really want to just go back to bed and like sleep in. Or I didn't have an alarm after I lost the job, so it was like I would just sleep in, and then I wouldn't wake up until late, and then I would just stay up late again, and it keeps the cycle going because your body's used to that new cycle, and your body's used to that rush of like adrenaline, and it's like I want to do that again, When you're in the moment of it, it feels good. But it's not good for longevity. Gratitude makes what we have enough. Like that. That's what it says on this. But yeah, I would like be off that job, and I would wake up, and part of it was I was like super dependent on like smoking weed all the time, and that wouldn't make it any better, because it would be like then I wake up right away, and it's like you smoke weed, and like that, whether it's indica or sativa, that's like the way you perceive the high. But from a body perspective, every time you smoke weed, your heart rate increases. So essentially, it's an adrenaline rush. So that goes into why I was so like addicted. I was like a reefer addict. You know that movie? And people think like that's like a lie. Like reefer addict isn't real. Oh man, here comes this fucking truck. I apologize. Alright, we're back. I usually just eat strawberries, but there's rare lunar days where some of them say to eat meat and other of them will just be like, eat whatever food you want. And I associate certain things, like today's the day of the bear, and it's like, usually I eat like a piece of salmon or a fish if I feel like it, because it's like, I just become the bear, you know? Like, I eat plant-based. I don't abide by anything. Like, some days I'm hungry for certain stuff. And I was watching this very interesting video of a guy about the Kundalini awakening. It reminds me of this sound healer that I watched on TikTok. It was like, he had a sound healing session, and then afterwards he chilled and went to like In-N-Out Burger. And he was like, I love having some low vibrational food after I have a high vibing session. And that correlates to the video that I saw. And also how I said sometimes you just feel like you want certain cravings, but it's like a balance. It's like you intuitively want certain things. It's not like, oh, you know, I'm a little kid and like I want sugar for breakfast every day. It's not like that. That's more like a conditioning. You know, when it's like your parents don't know any better and they give them sugar every day and then they want sugar. Like, that has to do with marketing and conditioning. Like, I'm talking about intuitive cravings. So there's a difference, like, as you get to know yourself. But this guy in the video, he was talking about how during his Kundalini awakening, or what he eventually realized was that, because I assume, you know, at first he was just like, I'm going to do a diet to, well, basically he said like, being vegan, like, he was trying to explain it from like perspectives, like if I try to do this like back in the 1800s, like it wouldn't be sustainable. Like maybe now it is because I can go to the store and it gets like food from like all over, you know, globalization is a thing and stuff like that. But it's like, imagine if you grew up in like England or something where it's like we only have potatoes, like would you get all your nutrients and stuff? So it's like, we have the luxury to be vegan, but he was talking about how it's basically like not a long-term sustainable thing, at least for his body type, and for some body types it is. But he was just saying like after a while he started to like lose weight and he noticed like his nails were breaking and like he just felt weaker and like he would lose energy more. But then he said he finally stopped being meat free and he ate some meat and he felt like so satiated, he was saying. And it's like, and then he went back and he was like, yeah, when you start your healing process, he's like, you want to detox, and like that's part of a good detox regimen is, you know, cutting everything out and just, you know, eating vegetables. But then he was like, you have to like move on from that and he was kind of like explaining, like, as you fix what needs to be fixed, and it's like those intuitive cravings that your soul has, like, they can come back, like, into the mix, like, because, like, have you ever seen the Egyptian things, how they're like a bunch of animals, or like you could even research your own, like, animal through, like, all the other different types of astrology, right? So it's like, think about what that animal liked to eat. And it's funny because people who are vegan, like, I follow this one doctor, and he's like vegan, like, strictly, and he's into powerlifting as well, and he's like, so he talks about cows, and like, why would you eat the cow when the cow eats grass? It's like, why don't you just go to the source? Which is, like, funny. Like I said, I don't stand really by, like, one or the other. I feel like it's like how I was talking about, like, it's intuitive cravings. Like, certain days have certain energies, and I feel like they take you over. Or maybe we should like, that's what I'm doing. I'm letting it, like, the day of the bear, like, take me over, like. But back to how the sound healer was like, I like to have a high vibing session, and then I like to have some low vibing food. It's another car. That's because we are earth creatures. And that's what the guy explained in the video. It's like, when you're on this journey to ascend, and you meditate, and you do, like, all these, like, spiritual things, like, I'm ascending, I'm transcending my body or whatever to have my spiritual experience. But then it's like, what about when you come back into your body? There's still those cravings that it's like, they make you feel like you're an earth person again. And like, I'm a Taurus, so it's like, I really relate to that through food. Like, when I get stressed out, that's like a pitfall I have, is like, I'll just, like, pig out. And in Chinese astrology, I'm the pig, so it's like, that shit really hits me hard. Where it's like, I just want to be a pig and be sensual. Like, that's all I want to do right now. Like, I'm... Ugh! A fucking spider. A weird ass spider. You see that? Dude, a spider just can't... I have to pause this. Now I'm freaked out. I had seen a spider, and then it crawled down here. I had some ginger and some apples, but I'm like, yo, where the hell did the spider go? I don't want to get bitten by an unknown species of spider. Please leave, my boy. Please leave. Get the fuck out of my car. That's the rules on Earth. You don't invade other people's space. And this spider is crossing the line. I do not like this. Cannot find that spider. Was I hallucinating? Spent I looked everywhere around there. Under my seat. Whatever. Spiders and snakes are my most respected animals. That means I fear what they'll fucking do to me. I fear them. I don't like them coming in my space. We were talking about being vegan and like natural intuitions to eat other stuff. If you came in here, you're just gonna like suffocate from the heat. Don't be coming in my door, in through my sunroof. A spider, it's a symbol. I'm an 8 in numerology, and it's like I kind of like, it's like the 8 knows that there's many ways to get something done. That's why they're good with like achieving stuff. Like they don't let like they say a lot of inventors are 8s. Like Henry Ford was an 8. The 8s have lots of fails in life. what they learn from it. And that helps them get better at inventing what they're trying to do, or new routes to achieve what they're trying to do. They don't give up. It's also like the infinity sign. Like, we didn't do it this time. All right, let's go try it again. Try it again. Around and around till we get it. So I feel like I'm with these jobs. Like, I keep trying jobs. Till I find the right situation, the right schedule, the right environment, the right people. It's a lot of variables that it's like, seen a lot of the wrong. But this one's gonna do it. But no, I'm actually like worried because like, it's starting to get really hot out here. Like, I have a sun blocker up in my windshield right now. Otherwise, I'd be getting fucking burnt. And like, when I went out in the sun to look at that spider, I was like, damn. Because I was in the sun yesterday, and I'm got like the after crisp. Well, either way, I'm gonna get this job, and I'm gonna be working at night. Then during the day, I'm gonna need to find a shady place. Because if you didn't guess by now, I live in my car. I've been living in my car. I live in my car. I've lived in my car. But actually, yesterday I went through all this, because I like do Uber delivery and deliveries on apps, but the sun fucks with me, so that's why I'm like, it's getting summer and I want to try to, not put so much wear on my car and at the same time on myself from the sun. Because I love driving for Uber. It's not hard or anything. Like, I like it. It's fulfilling to me. Like, the first delivery I ever did, I gave a kid his toy. And they were like, his mom was like, this was the last one in stock, and the kid was like so happy. And I got a feeling I like never get at like normal jobs, and I'm like, yeah, I did something for someone and I see the results of them being happy from it. Like, I like this shit. And it wasn't like oh, I'm at fast food and I'm giving someone their fucking death burger. Hmm. But that was in the beginning when I just delivered for Walmart and like I wouldn't do food. But then when I started living in my car, I resorted to delivering food. But I try to, like, I only deliver to McDonald's and shit if it's like hot, like paying like, I don't know. It goes back to the craving thing, and it's just part of my journey. Like I don't judge people for, because like I had my gallbladder out, and it's like I used to always eat bad stuff when I didn't have the pain to learn from. So it's like everybody's on their own path and their own place, and it's not up to me to be like, I'm fucking up here and you're down there. Like, even though it is like low vibing food, but some people, but I don't know, it's weird. Like there's the body types, and like some of them, there's that one body type where it's like they're good off of like acidic and like alcohol and like, I don't know, it's weird. Like there's a lot of different people. Like it's so weird. Like if I eat fast food, like I feel so bad, and I actually get pain in my, where my gallbladder used to be. Then I see like old people that are like 90 and they're like, yeah, we've been doing this. We always go out to eat at McDonald's like every this day of the week. They do it multiple days. And they're fine. The way that I try to think about it is like, I've been given a certain mission to learn about this stuff and teach it to other people. So that means the laws of nature is like holding me to, like if I don't do that, like then I'm going against my natural like path or whatever. But it's like that isn't someone else's natural path. Like I was joking around with my one friend, and I was like, sometimes I get like so frustrated, and I'm like, I wish I can just like wake up and spray myself with a bunch of Axe and go to the plant and just eat shit like for dinner. Like be a normie. Like that's what normie means to me. Like, because when I try to do that, it's like I can't do that. It fucking kills me. Whoever's gonna watch me eat, thank you. Thank you for watching me eat. But also I have like my 5th house in Pisces, so it's like I go through that back and forth. You have the 2 fish are like one way and the other. And like how they say like we're like leaving the age of Pisces and we're going into Aquarius, and they say the age of Pisces is all about like love and war. So I feel like that, that concept infiltrates my life a lot, where it's like I love meat and then I fucking eat it and then it makes me feel bad and I'm like, fuck, I hate that shit, but I love it, but I love the taste, but I hate how it makes me feel when I like overindulge in it. So I was saying, I get carried away with overindulging in stuff, especially food, sensualities of life. I get carried away with that. On that note, I'm having another one of these. But if I eat them all, it's only a total of 8 ounces of meat. Well, maybe a little over 9. But it's like a steak. Have y'all ever tried, like I got this meat and I try to make sure I get ones with 0 sugar, because I had this issue, and I still do, with like, see how I'm getting like pimples, like it's, I talked to this herbalist and she told me I had candida, and I've researched it and I've like taken and like eaten an anti-candida diet and like prevention and like being scared that like maybe that's what I have, but now I actually have it, and it's like I probably had it for like 6 months or more, but it's not nearly as bad as when it first started. Like when it first started, like my hips would get like super itchy, and like I would just keep scratching myself like all over, and I had like these little pimples like on this part of my elbow, but like you can see, like it's still kind of like I still kind of get like these like little pimples and stuff, and that's what that is, because and they say that that feeds off of like any type of yeast and like sugar. That you intake. So that's another reason why like I used to eat like nothing but bananas, but then when she told me about that, like bananas have like a lot of sugar, and that's something they say you should cut out. And I used to just pretty much survive off of bananas and pistachios is one of the nuts they say you should stop eating. So like my whole world got flipped upside down But at the same time, I became like inspired because like I don't know what the fuck was going on. And then this herbalist like emailed me back and she's like, sounds like you have candida. And I was like, I looked up pictures of it. I was like, oh, this makes like, now I don't feel like I don't know what this is. So like now I have like a plan of attack, but it's just I have to stay strict and like a lot, you know, like you still need sugar. Like glucose is what gives you energy. They just say that you have to stick to like low sugar fruits. I'm not gonna get into how I got candida, but it's fucked up. Because I eat healthy as fuck. Never knew you can get it that way. Till it happened. But I feel like it's all part of like my path that I'm on. Like I have to beat this shit so then I could teach it to other people. See how I'm saying this is like my life? It keeps throwing like weird health shit at me that most people don't even fucking know or encounter. But then it's like I'm into herbs and like natural. I want to be a naturopath. Yeah, I was like, I was like so frustrated when this candida happened to me, candida, that I actually started going back to American medicine doctors again, because like I really had no fucking clue what the fuck was going on. But I don't have health insurance, and like when I would go to the clinic, they'd be trying to ask me for like $160, and I was like, I cannot afford that at this point in my life. And that's why I'm saying it's like life put me in a position where I have to focus back on my purpose, and it's like my only way out of like what I'm facing. It's like I can't go just pay for like an easy fix or anything. It's just like I have to focus on my diet, do what I came here to do. Because I believe it's all part, I know it's all part of the path that I'm on. My struggle that I'm going through right now, if I beat it, I'm going to be able to help somebody else who doesn't know what the fuck is going on in their life. And then they won't have to Because that's why I would get discouraged, because like I went to the doctors back when it first started, and they basically are like, you're fine or whatever. Like all the tests are normal and shit. And then it would happen for months and months, and then I was like, maybe I should go back to the health clinic and like get like checked by the doctors again. But then I couldn't really afford it. And when they told me that price, I was like, I'm gonna pay this money just for you to fucking tell me nothing. Like, I know how this drill works. Like, I did this enough times. So that's where I get fed up. And then it's like, why am I fed up? It's actually because I'm mad that I'm not. Well, I'm just mad that I'm feeling uncomfortable. But it's like, the real place that's rooted from is me not like fulfilling my real job of what I'm supposed to be doing, is like eating right. And because like when you don't feel good, like that goes back into how it's like when I don't feel good, I just want to eat whatever I want. And like that's why this is like strengthening my fucking soul and like making me even more fucking disciplined, where it's like the pitfalls that I used to like rely on as a crutch, like that shit got fucking swiped out of my fucking arm. So now I have to fucking walk without that shit. And like I'm out here in the hot, and then it's like sometimes I just go insane, and it's just like I just want to fucking like eat whatever, like I don't care. But then I go to the store and I like get my thoughts together, and I'm like, no, you have to get, you know, blueberries, organic strawberries, get the good shit. It's like, if you don't, you're just prolonging that cycle that you're gonna be like going crazy. And it's like, I want to get this shit over with. And it pertains to like, I don't go to church a lot, but this year I actually went to church, and I realized it's my favorite day to go to church. It's on Lent, because that's when they put that cross on your head in ashes, and they say to you, from dust you came, and to dust you shall return. Which isn't totally true if you like create like a legacy, and like you become like remembered for like something, and like you keep living on. Or in general, if you just make a difference to someone, like you live on. But like it's about humbling yourself. And the guy, I liked his speech, or the gospel or whatever that he had. He talked about how like most people give up things in Lent, and they're like sitting there like, oh, I can't wait till Lent is over, because now I'm gonna go right back to doing this thing that like I'm giving up now, like for God or whatever. But like, is it really for God if you're not like, if the end goal isn't to actually better your life? Like that's what he was saying. Like, remember what like Lent is about. Like he like reiterated to everyone like that the concept of Lent, it's about giving something up, and then like reflecting on like, oh, that actually made my life better, so I'm gonna like keep that out of my life. But like when that time comes around is like when you kind of like evaluate your life, and you're like, what is the, because like imagine if every year you gave up something and you actually released it, and like you gave it up, and then you reflected back on life, and you're like, wow, like this really improved my life, and you did that every single year. So like say you were, this many years old, like 60 years old, and like for like 50 years you've been like giving shit up. It's like that adds up, and like that really improves like your quality of life. And like that's what he was like reiterating like Lent was about. And that like stuck with me. And I thought that was good, and I was like, this is better than Christmas. Like from a philosophical point of view, like if I do go back, I probably will go back to church again on Lent. And that was in Las Vegas. I went to Lent. Of all the weird places I could have went to church, I went to Lent when I was in Vegas, and it was like the church right off the fucking strip. But it was good. Oh, watch out for that dumbass spider. Yeah, it's like watching, like, I call it tarot, because like I always say that shit in my head and like I just sound it out, but it's actually pronounced like tarot, I guess. But that's what inspired me when I would see all these people doing the tarot readings. Like, that's kind of like, there was a lot of things that led up to inspire me to make YouTube videos, but it's like that was kind of like the end, like the last straw on the camel's back, when I would see them like talking about life and stuff, and I was like kind of like, because like everybody's like intuitive in their own way, and I feel like tarot is like a very like basic form of like people being like intuitive. The reason why I think it's basic is because it like gives you a guideline of like what to talk about. Whereas if I just start the camera and I don't have any cards dealt to me per se, like now I have to deal my own cards. I have to make up my own ideas. Like, it's like the way the human brain works is like, the brain tries to like box shit in. So like if all I do is like look at like dragons all day, and then I look at a cloud in the sky and I'm like, oh my god, that one looks like a dragon. It's like, don't you think it's because that's all you look at all day? Like that's like what your brain is used to, like turning everything thought like into about dragons or whatever. Because like that goes into like negative like thinking and stuff. Like a lot of these people who like read tarot, like a majority of their message is about the other person and like, what does this person think about you now? What does your ex think about you now? Like, that's tapping into like very like negative like thought patterns that like people have. And then there's like a few of them that I actually like better than they're like, you know, talking about like ascension and like rising above like all that stuff. And it's like, that's really the only readings I think that should exist. I'm not saying like the yin yang, like dark doesn't exist, but it's like, as someone who's trying to be spiritual, like you're trying to ascend from the earthly things, and everyone who's into tarot basically believes in like Holy Spirit and like God and all that. So it's like, the higher road is the ascension. The lower road is deceit and like all that stuff about, oh, this person stabbed you in the back and all that. Like, that's earthly. That's still in the earth realm, and it's like we're trying to like ascend to something higher than that. I thought that was the whole reason like we're divinating here, you know? But yeah, like tarot is one of the last things that like inspired me. Just like seeing like other people read with like these guidelines. It's like, it's basically like, I'm gonna give you, like, I'm talking freely right now, but it's like, what if I pulled two things that gave me like two words to talk about, and then I just started going off about those two words and how I relate to them. It's like they give you, like, I feel like tarot is like training wheels for like, you know, real intuition. Because like I said, your brain, when it sees pictures, when it sees these cards that you've been using, that you had multiple other reads for before, you keep framing it back to what you did in the past readings and stuff. And yeah, energies are, the cards represent certain energies, and certain energies are prevalent. But I feel like part of being intuitive and ascending is bringing, you know, what your own individual soul is here to bring, and that's something different. That's not, oh, we've seen this energy before, that's this or whatever. But it's like everyone rising up and becoming their own individual spirit, like, that's new. That's something else. Like, but that kind of goes into why I'm like going off like on all these tangents. And I'm just like, at first when I just made a video, it was like I just wanted to talk about stuff, because I really don't know tarot that well, but I know that I'm like an intuitive person. And it's like, I feel like I'm just like, I never needed the tarot. Like, I had the tarot deck, I bought it as a souvenir, and I put it on my desk as like a, you know, a little like coffee desk thing. Like, it's kind of like you know, I had children's books when I was a little kid, and I keep those as like things that are sentimental. But it's like, when I have problems in life, like, I don't go back and read my little kid book, because like, I can, and I could relate everything in life to, you know, what's going on in the little kid's book. But that's not going to help me blossom into the individual that my spirit wants me to become. That's just going to make me relate to things that are in boxes already. So, yeah, like as I keep making the videos, I realize like I just like rambling and saying the things that like come to me. But then there's times when, that like that's why I got that weird deck that I got. If you haven't seen me reveal that deck, like that's one of my videos. It's like I don't really know anything about that deck, and when I do it, it's just like freestyling and everything's just coming as it is. Like it's not like I study that shit and then I'm like ready to like serve something that's like been prepared like beforehand. Like because like real intuition is like reading life as it comes to you, and like that's what feel like I'm like doing on the videos. Like I'm just going with the flow and rolling with the punches. Fight the good fight. Don't pick the easy fight. You're gonna get fucking worse damage and worse shit, but it's gonna make you stronger, like in the end. But yeah, I'm excited because I'm finally in a position where I could start like saving up money so I can get a place that I could have a space that's bigger than this, and I could burn my incense. I mean, I have I have sage dipped in dragon's blood. Dragon's blood is what got me into like all these different types of incense. Like when I had a place, and we'll eventually maybe tell that story, but that's for another time. It's like before I lost my apartment due to unfortunate circumstances, I had an incense burner that I liked a lot, and I still have it, and it's still in preparation for another time. I have it in storage. I like Palo Santo. The smell of it, I like it way better than sage. It's so much better, if you ask me. And I had a friend that I had this temp job, and like he needed a ride, and he came in my car, and he saw like I had my sage there and the Palo Santo, and he's like, "Oh, what's this?" And I was just like very general with him because he didn't seem like he wasn't like a spiritual person, like because like he had a tattoo of a number like on his hand or something, and I was like, "Is that?" When I first met him, I was like, "Is that your your life path number?" And he's like, "No, it's my stalker number." So like that's why like when he asked me about this stuff, I wasn't like super oh, this cleanses you and like all that type of shit, but it was like he kind of like intuitively got it like off my vibe because like I lit it up and I like put some smoke on him, and he thanked me, and I was like, "You're welcome," like, but I didn't expect him to like be like so respectable about it because like I don't know, I just expect people to be like, "Oh, that's incense," like, but no, he like smelt it, and like he also liked the Palo Santo like better. And I was like, "Yeah, me too. I think this is a lot better." Like, they're both good smells, but I feel like if it was a blind smell test and they were showing me colognes and they showed me Palo Santo, I'd be like, "This is a real ass cologne." But then sage, I would just be like, "This smells like a plant being burnt." Like, it just has an ashiness to it. Whereas this has like a pininess to it that it just brings me back to where like I grew up around like pine trees, and I don't know, I feel like just pine trees in the forest, like that's kind of what the smell reminds me of. You're getting some, spider, if you're in here. But yeah, it was so interesting. Like right when I came to this town that I'm in, I had a delivery, and it was from the mall. And I realized when I went to that mall, no, I had a delivery near the mall, and that's how I found the mall. But then after I completed my delivery, I was like, "Yo, I want to go back to that mall because it looks really cool." and I'm just gonna walk around there, and I also wanted to take a break from the sun, right? And I walk into the mall, and there's a fucking like tent set up because it's Saturday, and I end up finding out like every second Saturday they have like a little fair thing where people come and sell like rocks and all this different stuff. And there was this lady there that I met who's very smart, and she was into like some next level. See, like the sage makes me like want to cough. But yeah, I actually ended up going to the back of the mall, and there was this store, and it was like, it wasn't a tent, it was a real store. And there was this lady there, and she had tarot cards, and she was actually like a author for like a bunch of books that have to do with like these witch fictional like books and stuff. But she was so nice because whoever gets in the tarot, they're always like trying to like charge you for a fucking reading. And it's like, I don't know, that's some weird shit if you ask me. Like, it's like, would you go up and talk to someone just because they paid for you? Like, that's basically an energy reading right there. But you do tarot, that's like the kindergarten book I told you version of energy reading. But like, what if you actually went up to someone and fucking talked to them and read their energy? Like, welcome to being a fucking adult. But no, I'm just joking around on that shit. But there's some truth in every joke. There's truth in every good joke, you know. But no, basically she told me she's learning it, and I'm like, yeah, do one on me, because like I just showed up to this town, and I kind of had like an idea of what I was gonna do already. Like when I go to get, I've only went to get 2 tarot readings, and it was both after I've seen signs, and I pretty much already intuitively knew what to do, but I do it for confirmation. Because like I want to go up to someone and see them like read the same thing that like I've been, and like it happened to me like both times that I went to it. But like the first time, actually, the lady wasn't like I don't care how long you've been doing the tarot cards, like you can still be like on a lower level of intuition, but you can be a beast at tarot cards. Just because you've been doing the tarot cards for a long time doesn't make you like rank up in real world intuition. Like I say, like going through real things and meeting real people and having to deal with that shit as it comes, not fucking just guiding by a card. That like breeds like real spiritual character, and like being able to be like an energy like reader and stuff. But this lady I met with the store, she was a writer, so it was like, I don't know, I just got a good vibe off of her, and that was why I was like, because the first time I went to a tarot reading, it was like I went to this store and I got a good vibe off the people that worked at the store, and then I asked them about tarot readings, and then like basically I pre-booked the appointment before I like met the person or anything, and then I showed up, and she like gave me like, she basically was like, did you just come here for confirmation? Like she basically looked at me like she knew I fucking knew what was going on, and she was like mad that she couldn't manipulate me, and like she's like, you're fucking manipulating this shit. And I'm like, yeah, that was me kind of like testing, because like I was like super obsessed with tarot for a while because of the thing that happened with my apartment. And then I was watching all these videos on YouTube that like coincided with what was going on like in my life. And like that was like some weird shit where it was like I didn't actually even walk up to these people, and they were just like reading this like collective energy, and like all these other people are like going through like similar variations like of this energy like all over like right now. So that was like my awakening. Like I always knew I was enlightened like since I was like 13, but it was like when I was 27 and this thing happened with my apartment and like betrayal and all that. Like that's when I kind of like, I thought it's like you think you're enlightened, but then like your eyes could open even more. And like that was the point where like that happened. And when I was like 13 and like growing up, being like made to go to church by like super like Christian parents, it was like that kind of made me like rebellious against like the whole like God and like traditional like spirituality. But then it was like when I learned about like collective readings and stuff, and like I really enforced like that oneness like energy like in me again, because it was like up until maybe I was like 25, because like I was my teenager, and that was like when you're dark and like you're like, I'm going to high school, like hail Satan and like all that shit because it's funny, and like at the same time you're exploring like your dark side. But then it was like I went through like the dark night of the soul, and I got sick, and I was alone, and it's like I had no choice but to, stop wearing fucking black clothes and realizing that I'm putting myself in like this negative energy, and like I could influence that and I could change that shit. So that was like when I was like, 20 years old to like 25, like I was like coming out of like that self-imposed like dark exploration, I'll say. But then when it was like from like 25 to like 27, when that event happened, was like me, like I knew that oneness was there, but like I didn't really have the confirmation of it being there, or like no one around. I won't say like confirmation, because like I believed, and I was like on the, like I was looking on the bright side of things again, as a rebellion to everyone around me who's now like, grown up past high school, and they're just like living their monotonous life, and they seem like they just like gave up, and like my family and all that, like in their traditions, like, and I'm just like, I just want to like ascend, and the shit isn't happening as fast as I want it to. But yeah, I finished my turkey, and that's it. Double Hats is leaving.